Hi there, and welcome to another video in our digital journey series presented by ExoSystems. So ExoSystems, our goal is really to help businesses in any industry focus on becoming fast, becoming digital, and staying future-proof no matter the circumstances, which is hugely important in today's industry. My name is Charles from ExoSystems, and today I'd like to take you through a little bit more detail on the rapid POC part of our digital journey. Hopefully you've watched the overview video. If you haven't, please feel free. The link's below. Go and take a look. But we'll be recapping that at a high level and then diving into a little bit more detail on how to actually execute that. Before we move on there, let's take a look at the four fundamental pillars that are key for businesses to be thinking about nowadays, and we are really excited to help organizations move forward. The first one is about having multi-touch experiences. So these are journeys or experiences that either your customers on their customer experience or your staff and suppliers in digital operations go through in order to either get value or add value to your organization. These should be end-to-end and should touch all the solutions that are important inside your business. The second pillar is that these solutions should be agile. What this means is that we should be able to get them out quickly, but that we have the ability to continuously improve and adapt them to changing markets, changing customer needs, changing operations, really fundamentally important. The third pillar is that we want to be able to modernize our systems. So in this series, we're using insurance as a strong example of where we've helped customers and continue to help customers. So for example, you might want to modernize policy or claims systems that you've had in place for years. But in any industry, you're going to have systems either that you've bought off the shelf 20 years ago or that you've built over time, or might even be brand new. But you want to make sure that they work well together and that they're well orchestrated and that you're liberating your technology to be able to serve the business. And the final pillar is that you want to really unlock the skills in the business and have skills independence. This is about acknowledging that technology plays a huge role in our businesses and that we want the skills inside our business to utilize technology, but to be focused on bringing business value. And you don't want to then be locked down and encumbered by only having certain types of skills. So our goal is really to help you open that up and unlock that capability in your business. So the digital journey, which we've mentioned, is a journey that we see a lot of our customers and our prospects going on, and we're really encouraged to walk along this, and we support them on it, going all the way from getting awareness around what to do, all the way through showing their first POC, ultimately to delivering first value in their business, but then expanding and growing and creating a factory of value, which we'll talk about. Today, we're going to be focusing on building a rapid POC and the detail around that. So the goal of building a rapid POC is to look to the roadmap work that we did. So look to the other videos in our series where we talk about application strategy workshops and ultimately helping you to discover and understand your landscape of applications, either the ones that exist or don't exist, and what's really high priority and what's high pain. And picking one from there and actually starting to show some progress against that. And we'll show you how we take you through that and the framework that we have. So it's ultimately about moving towards the first application on your roadmap. At an overview, and again, this was covered before, so I'll go through the headlines. The idea is to pick a candidate from the roadmap. If you followed our ASW process, it'll be quite clear which one should be there. Then you scope it out. We'll talk about that today. And really the goal here is to show how much can be done with 2 days of building effort and then 1 day of presentation effort back to your key audience and your key stakeholders in your business. We have approaches and principles, which we'll go through in more detail. So really some key things to think about and do to really raise the possibility of success and the impact of the rapid POC. And then driving the outcomes and thinking how to move forward, considering that it's a journey. What we also say, and I mentioned it before, if you looked at our previous videos, we've got a 6-step process to defining a successful roadmap. Look at steps 3, 4, and 5 there to understand what could be a great candidate, and drilling down into your low-rated process, ideating around those already, and then developing proof points will really play well into this. Our combined team, so our team and your team, will use to create this rapid POC are really a description of the process or the pain point or the use case that you've chosen. So an understanding on what we're trying to show, either a customer experience or an operations experience. The roles that are involved, it could be customers, could be staff, could be field service agents. Some data structure and sample data, so just understanding the type of information you use, we really find that Excel is a great way of gathering this out. And often in businesses where there is pain, you find Excel has turned up either to innovate, close those details, or to fill a gap in your traditional big systems that aren't necessarily fulfilling what your business needs yet. Excel is a great way of us understanding how we're going to work with that and move it forward. And then on the screen side, this is just starting to ideate together on how we think this could actually look from a user interface perspective. And it could be as simple as just drawing it on a piece of paper, and then we can take that forward with our team. So those are the four. The +1, and it's so key that we sit together and we define 3 to 5 critical success factors, a combination of business success factors and technology success factors. And you'll see where that comes up going forward. So these are the 6 steps we'll be going through today, and we'll dive into the detail on each of them. So let's get going. Step number 1 is to identify critical success factors. This is so important. So we sit down and we have a meeting together with you and your stakeholders and the application owner or the business knowledge owner of the area that you've chosen to do your rapid POC. And we ask some fundamental questions. It's really a conversation. So why do you want this application? Why are you trying to solve this problem? And what we like thinking about there is, even if you're still struggling to find exactly which problem you want to solve, we talk about using a diamond analogy. So if you think about a diamond that you're digging out of the ground, it's usually something that's small, so it shouldn't be a huge problem, but it should be something that has maybe been difficult to solve in the past, so you've just never gotten around to. So it can be hard. It's going to be rough. So the first version you put out is certainly not going to be finished. But the point is that when you put it in front of people, it should make their eyes sparkle. So this should be something that we can really get going on, show value, and it's really going to get your business engaged. So a diamond. We talk through the current processes. What are the processes you have in place? Get a basic understanding of how that flow works. Either one that does exist already, or if it's a brand new one, then we'll sit together and we'll ideate it together. We spoke about the roles. So who are the key actors that work in this process or on this pain point? We decide those together. Like I said, if it's a current process, we'll gather the data you currently use. And sometimes that process could be running in Excel. It could be as simple as someone saying, I start here, I capture this piece of information in the sheet, we fill this out as time goes by, or someone else comes in and updates this field when they do their work, and then we end up with this chart, we end up with this calculation. It's a great way of mapping it out, but there are lots of other ways of doing it. Then what we like to do as well is get a list of wow factors that would really engage and impress your stakeholders. So this is sometimes, what is the pain that they've been feeling week in and week out? How can we really just show how we can make progress against that on these new platforms? Or it could be just a new vision of the future that maybe just hasn't really been there before, and we can show you some of the great stuff that can be done given our experience in this space. We're working it together. And the goal from here is to have a list of critical success factors, like I mentioned before, 3 to 5, that will really become the guiding light for the demo, for how we design the build, and for what the team ultimately shows. And even at the end, when we present it, you'll see that this keeps coming up. So it's really about convincing and showing people value. It's fundamentally important. Good. The second step is that we're going to now take this information from that first meeting and organize it and plan our outcomes and plan the build. Now, the goal here, because we're showing a new way of working as well, we're showing agile, and it's a short build, is not to spend 3 weeks planning this out, but we do have a good structure on how to manage it, and then make sure that we're working together to achieve the outcomes. So this might be some things like creating a shared digital working space. It might be something like Google Drive. There could be a whole lot of different things to do that, but just a central place where we can collaborate. And the important part to realize here when we're building this rapid POC is we're also showing and working together with your business to understand how this can be repeated over and over for all the other projects that you're going to want to take on in this new way of working. So having a shared workspace might be something you haven't done before, and we'll show you how that can begin and how that can grow. And because it's a rapid POC, it's not necessary. The goal isn't to have something that works end to end and that solves all the problems. It's really using a real life use case and focusing on stuff that does need to be working and showing you what's happening. But at the end of the day, we're going to decide together what the success factors are, what the key things are that really need to be shown and functioning. And for the rest, we can put up aspects around it that help open up the mind of our stakeholders and us collectively as a team to ideate for the future and to see what else can be done. So we'll define a flow of the app. We're already there, think about a script. So already thinking to how we're going to present it, what we're going to talk through, the steps we want to show. We'll have a look and feel. So we'll take your branding in. We'll start thinking about, if it's a mobile app, what kind of colors do we want to use? what's a nice flow, and what are the people that are going to be using it. Is it better to have big buttons or information or whatever it is? And we'll really think about that. And like I said over here, we're going to write the presentation talking script first, work backwards from there. So know what we're aiming for, and then really use that to focus on what we're going to do. Good. And that script we often find actually becomes our task list of what we're going to build. All right, third step is building with intention. So what we mean of building with intention is always focusing on the critical success factors, and from that as well, down to the demonstration script, making sure that we're always hitting towards that. What we don't want to do is, and what we call falling into a rabbit hole, which is you get stuck on something, or you're over focusing on something that you want to spend time trying to sort out, but when you actually reflect on it, it's not going to be valuable at this point in time in terms of what you're trying to achieve with the stakeholders or what we're trying to understand within the build. So it's a good way of just continuously testing ourselves, given the limited amount of time, to make sure that we're delivering maximum value. And again, it's a great mindset to instill generally into your team as we go along. Again, we've got great development experience, great ideation experience. We're working with core artifacts that we've built up over the past that could be used. And by artifacts, we mean maybe ways of solving a certain process problem or ways of engaging with customers that we can bring in here and really help to accelerate. So we call them acceleration packs sometimes. And we're also going to be using things that your technical teams will be interested in, like great architecture patterns, that your business teams might be interested in, like business process patterns. So really adding as much value as possible. And the goal here is saying simple yet effective is the key mindset. So let's stay focused and let's not overcomplicate it, but make sure that we're hitting your critical success factors. Now, step 4, 5, and 6, we're going to cover in even more detail in a follow-on video where I actually show you the outcome of us having gone through a rapid POC build and a real example of it. But at a high level here, this is important, where once we've built the rapid POC, we want to prepare to present. And again, this is important because we're capturing hearts and minds. It's our first opportunity collectively with you to take your stakeholders forward in opening up this new capability and this mindset. So we want to make sure we do it right. Some of the key things there are that let's make sure we're prepared. Let's anticipate who's going to be in the room. First of all, between a business and technical balance, but also understanding the verticals they're in, maybe their experience and their pain points, and really make sure that we're speaking to them and that we're not speaking past or missing each other. We want to dry run through the presentation, make sure that everything's working as expected and flows smoothly. And we also want to create a reusable slide deck that you can use to take forward and carry on conversations with inside your business. We've got templates, we've got experience in doing that, and we can work with you then on seeing how you work that into your message that works best for your business. And what's also important is that we try and use data and information, sample data, that really resonates with your business. So again, that's where it's helpful to have maybe some Excel or whatever, but there's lots of ways of figuring that out. Ultimately, we want this demonstration to be relatable. It must be something that feels like it's part of your business, because it is. Okay, step 5, we actually do the presentation. So we present the application and we paint a vision. So really work through the script, show what was done, recap at the beginning where we started and what we came from, and making sure that everyone in the room is agreed on what the critical success factors are and what we're ultimately trying to get to, and show how that was done. Part of that will be sharing our experience in the build, talking about how it worked inside the business, really engaging everyone. This is important because going on a roadmap to creating a factory of value is not just about having new technology. It's sometimes about changing the way that the whole business and the people involved in these projects work and think. And we really want to start that process early on and show you how it could work. Demonstrate it, show how the critical success factors were achieved, and then even look beyond that and go, well, imagine now if we had another 3 months, what more we could do, another 3 weeks, and paint a vision for the future, but make it real. Actually show how we built what we built. Explain more how this could move forward, and really take it from, great, this is amazing and wow, to actually practically, this is how we're going to get it there, and this is how we can move the business forward. It's extremely powerful, and we've seen great success with this in the past. And the final step is, now that we've done a lot of speaking, gather feedback, listen to the room, hear what the stakeholders have to say, engage with more people if now this is starting to create a buzz in the business, and really understand where to move forward from here, either just on how the application is going to work, this first rapid POC, or maybe just hearing that people want to work differently, or they really enjoyed how this project was run and wanting to learn. We're there to help you do that. We want to agree the next steps. We want to be able to move forward, share presentation decks, and ultimately we have to celebrate success. And this third bullet point was left in here on purpose, saying have a good night's sleep for all of us, happy with the job well done. This is so important in an agile mindset, because in agile, we're going to be continuously delivering value with you and your organization, or you guys can become independent over time, which is great. And it's important then, when you're continuously improving things, to not forget that what you've done right now is already a success. It's a big emotional thing to do, and it's part of the culture that will help instill. So those were the 6 steps. We gave you a lot of good detail today. Hopefully it really gives you an understanding of, when you engage with us, how we go about helping you define and build out this rapid POC as part of your digital journey. Again, the goal here is to move forward towards delivering your first value in your business, and ultimately creating a factory of value inside your organization that can make you relevant and stay future-proof going forward. So that was the Build a Rapid POC. In our next video, we'll be starting to branch over from having built the Rapid POC, and like I said, actually showing you a tangible demonstration of what we've built. So look out for that. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for sharing in this series with us. Please reach out if you're interested in us discussing building a rapid POC with you. Look out for any webinar links below on us showing and discussing live with you how this has worked. And we look forward to sharing more in the series with you. Thanks very much.